Hello and welcome to the Bison Basketball Show. I'm Brian Shawn. Non-conference play now in full swing for both the NDSU men's and women's basketball team. The Bison men on the road this past weekend, taking on 3 opponents in 3 days out at the High Point tournament in North Carolina. A back-and-forth contest throughout. True freshman Tyson Ward had yet to hit a shot in his first 2 collegiate games, but a huge game against the midshipmen. The 3 from the corner gives NDSU the lead, and then late in the half, Ward again running the floor off the steal, and he goes all the way for the lay-in. Ward 12 points off the bench. Bison up 6 at the half. Second half, NDSU goes to Paul Miller. Driving inside, giving it up to Deng Gu, gets the feedback from Gu for the lay-in. Miller added 8 points. Dexter Werner, huge down the stretch, going to work in the paint, spinning back to his left for 2. Bison up 1, and now we're tied at 53 late in the second half. Kai Cabela's quick first step to the basket, able to get all the way to the rim for 2 of his 8 points, and then it's Werner again. More great footwork inside, spinning and getting the roll on the jumper. He led NDSU with 14 points. Bison hit their free throws and hang on. 66-59 the final. NDSU also with 10 steals and 7 blocks in the game, holding Navy to just 40% shooting. Bison taking on UNC Greensboro in the second game of the High Point Classic. A.J. Jacobson continuing his hot shooting from long range, burying the three-pointer for an early 6-point lead. Later in the first half, Carlin Dupree around the double team, finding Deng Gu. He lays in 2 off the glass, Gu's only basket of the game. But the Spartans end the first half on a 13-0 run. Deontay Baldwin slicing in for the lay-in. Baldwin 14 points, and UNCG up 39-29 at the break. Bison rallying back in the second half. Jacobson again, catch and shoot 3. He was 6 of 6 from outside the arc, finished with a game-high 18 points. Dylan Miller provided a nice spark off the bench. Gets the feed from Kai Cabela's, laying it in. Miller, 9 points and 4 rebounds in 11 minutes. It's 51-47, but that's as close as the Bison would get. Off the inbounds pass, Francis Alonso slipping free on the screen and racing in for the lay-in. He had led the Spartans with 16. NDSU drops its first game of the season, 65-54. The Bison committed a season-high 20 turnovers. Carlin Dupree added 11 for NDSU. Quick turnaround for the Herd, taking on host High Point in the final game of the 3-day round robin. Paul Miller came out firing, left open for 3. He buries it, part of a 14-5 run to start the game. Miller again driving inside, acrobatic move in the lane, scored 16 in the first half, finished with 25 points and 10 rebounds. Bison keeping the pressure on. Carlin Dupree with the steal, taking it all the way coast to coast for the lay-in. Dupree added 11. NDSU led by 12 at the break. Barrage continuing in the second half. Miller dribbling around traffic, dishing to Kai Cabela's wide open look for 3. Cabela's 8 straight points, and the lead is 22. A.J. Jacobson got in on the fun. He knocks down the triple, and it's 51-26. NDSU over the host Panthers. Dylan Miller with the exclamation point late in the game, the 2-hand dunk off the feet from Cabela's. NDSU led by as many as 33 and roll to the 70-44 victory. The Bison holding High Point to just 29% shooting and led for all but 2 minutes in the game. We now welcome in men's basketball coach Dave Richmond after a long road trip, 3 games in 3 days out in High Point, North Carolina. Really an array of different competition from different leagues. Good to see some different styles of play for your guys. What were your overall impressions of the road trip, and what did you learn about your team maybe?
Well, I'm learning that we're still learning and growing, which is encouraging. You're five games into it now, and you're right, it was an array of different teams and some things we don't normally see. You start off Friday with a Navy team that went 3/4 court with some 1-2-2, just some different action that we don't see very much in our league. But that's good because we will see that periodically. And again, like you and I talk about all the time, Brian, everything we're doing is preparing us for the league. And we saw 3 very good teams. We knew going into the year this schedule was going to be one of the harder ones, if not the hardest one that I've been a part of here. So a good weekend like we talk about. Not a great. Would have liked to certainly have gotten that Greensboro game. I thought out of the 6 halves, we played 5 pretty consistent, pretty good ones. That first half against Greensboro, we weren't very good.
I know when you look at bench production, you wanted to see how the different pieces were going to work. Boy, Tyson Ward really gave you a nice shot on the arm Friday. Dylan Miller did some good things against Greensboro. And then it was kind of everybody against High Point. But did you see what you wanted to see in the limited minutes those guys got?
Yeah, you could slowly start to see those guys gaining confidence. Again, I think Tyson Ward's the big one. You know, he was able to score it for us a little bit against Navy on Friday. And he was just playing free and he's always been pretty solid defensively. Got to continue to get better guarding the ball, but encouraged with his minutes. And then, the combination of Spencer Eliason and Dylan Miller has been very good for us. And, the game was moving a little quick for Spencer on Saturday, and Dylan came in and gave us a great spark. But, Spencer was terrific, really running the floor, got a quick putback for us, made a nice pass in there. Just those guys continuing to get more and more comfortable has been good for us. And then, Dang, you can slowly start to see we've changed some things up and how Dang's doing some things defensively, and I think he'll get more solid, more consistent with that. And just for overall, just 5 games into it too, I think we still have to have a big picture with everybody.
And I know with the bouncing back in 14 hours, you have a tough loss and then you got to get back, and in the morning you got to play another game against a team that's feeling pretty good about itself, and you just wipe the floor with them. What was the key to getting the guys locked in after the tough loss to play so well?
Well, I still think as part of our growing process with this group and maturing process is understanding the importance of every single minute, every single opportunity, and I think our guys were feeling pretty good. You're 3-0 going into that Greensboro game, and you came out, and we just thought things are going to happen, and things are going to happen, and you just got to make them happen. And the urgency with which we got to fight, which we got to battle. We've got a bunch of good kids, and the understanding for 40 minutes, we got to be nasty out there a little bit, and we did that. We cut it to 4 really quick in the second half, and things were starting to go our way, and then we just couldn't get a shot to fall. But that's basketball, and the first half came back to bite us. But we had a really good meeting Saturday night, which you'd expect, and just kind of aired some things and understanding that the urgency that we need to play with every night, and our guys responded, and we did play extremely well against a very, very good High Point team. You look and see those banners, 4 straight regular season titles. That's a good win for us.
All right, we'll be back to look at the Bison's game against Waldorf. We'll preview a very busy week ahead against Missouri State, also Xavier, nationally ranked team. That's coming up next on the Bison Basketball Show.
The Bison Basketball Show on Midco Sports Network is presented by Nodak Mutual Insurance Company and Minn-Kota Windows.
Welcome back to the Bison Basketball Show. The Bison men, after 3 games in 3 days on the road, had a day off before hosting Waldorf in a game before Thanksgiving at the Shield Center. NDSU playing its 4th game in 5 days, but the Bison came out firing. Paul Miller kicking it out to Deng Gu for the wide open 3. Gu making his first career start, finished with 9 points and 8 rebounds. Kai Cabellas, a good all-around floor game. A game by 12 points, including this 3-pointer. NDSU builds a 12-point lead midway through the first half. Later off the turnover, Cabellas leading the break, one of his 4 assists on the behind-the-back pass to Miller. He throws it down, and the Bison are cruising. Sophomore Evan Wiesenberg played extended minutes off the bench. The reverse lay-in. Wiesenberg, 4 of 5 from the field, finished with 8 points. NDSU up 44-19 at half. And the Herd keeps their foot on the gas. Dexter Werner, the steal, getting it up to Carlin Dupree, and he takes it all the way, flying in for the one-hand slam. Dupree added 8 points on the night. Jared Samuelson, the true freshman walk-on, played 21 minutes as well. He drills the 3 to put the Bison up 34. Samuelson, 10 points and 4 assists. NDSU rolls easily, 83-52 the final. The Bison moving to 5-1 on the season. NDSU 18 assists on 36 made baskets, and they out-rebounded Waldorf 45-28.
It was great. It was first game of the season that I was able to see multiple threes go in. But I was just happy my teammates, they set me up with great shots, and hopefully it gets me going for the next few games we play.
Every minute, it's time to get better, no matter who you're playing, no matter what the score is, what the situation is. There's no garbage time, especially for people off the bench. It's real time, and you got to make the best of it.
All right, back with Coach Richmond to preview a very busy week ahead for North Dakota State, taking on Missouri State and nationally ranked Xavier, before going all the way out to North Carolina A&T, a whole week being gone, Dave. And I know it's Thanksgiving, and the guys are here, they're working. And so how do you handle that as a coaching staff, trying to bring, I'm guessing, a little team bonding, the guys together a little bit?
Yeah, basketball is that odd sport where we, the main holidays of Thanksgiving, Christmas, you get them all. But that's fun. That's part of it. We pride ourselves in an elite family culture of success is something that we talk about. We talk about the hashtag Bison Fam all the time. And so this is a family time, and I understand some of our kids are away from their family, which is tough, but we want to make it as smooth and as easy and as tight-knit and as family-like as possible. And we'll get together, we'll have a short lift session and a practice on Thanksgiving Day, and then the whole crew's coming over to our house. So my wife Stephanie, all the other coaches' wives will be busy. Not only our team, some of my family, some of her family is going to be there. So 50, 60 people over in West Fargo. It's going to be loud, it's going to be crazy, but it'll be family-like. That's going to be fun.
That's really cool. Busy week. Missouri State, national ranked Xavier. I think looking at the schedule, this may be one of your toughest stretches of the season, at least in the non-conference.
No question, and it starts Sunday with Missouri State team that's very good. They're starting to play very well, pick fourth in a good Missouri Valley League. And then we turn around and, we're going to bus to Cincinnati and play Xavier. We all know them, and they're playing extremely well right now. And then we're going to stay on the road. We'll fly back to Greensboro area, I believe, and then on Friday play North Carolina A&T. So it'll be a week, that's for sure. But again, I think as we're growing and that continuity and us being together that time, it'll be good, it'll be exciting, and I'm encouraged to see how we continue to move forward.
How do you keep the guys focused for that long of a stretch on the road? I know this was a tournament, you're gone, but at the same time, this is a different deal now. You're talking about a full week on the road. I think
there's so much that goes into the offseason, Brian, and those 8 months, and this has become, Division I basketball has become a lifestyle. It's become a year-round deal. And you really only get so many opportunities to really tee it up and compete. And even for our freshmen, Cameron Hunter stayed back, he's redshirting, but for Tyson Ward, Jared Samuelson, those two kids, they only have 120, 130 opportunities to go out and compete in your entire life. That's your college basketball career. So hopefully our guy like Dexter Warner and Carlin Dupree, there's 30 games hopefully left for them. So this is an opportunity, and you got to take advantage of every single opportunity to get.
Best wishes on the road, and have a happy Thanksgiving, Dave.
Same to you and your family, Brian.
All right, thanks so much. We'll be back to check in with the Bison women as they take on Colorado earlier this week, and also check in with Maren Walseth as they have a Thanksgiving tournament coming up as well. That's coming up next on the Bison Basketball Show. Welcome back to the Bison Basketball Show on Midco Sports Network. The Bison women had the weekend off and a while to prepare for their second home game of the season, taking on Power 5 Colorado at the Shield Center. The Buffaloes coming in 3-0 to the Shield Center, but the home team not intimidated. Sarah Jacobson finding an open Brianna Jones underneath. Jones 5 points and 5 rebounds in the game. Later in the first quarter, ball reversal to the top of the key. Jacobson connecting from long range. NDSU leads at 13-9. Move to the second quarter. Taylor Thunstead hounded all night. She's able to turn and hit the long three. With the shot clock winding down, Thunstead, a game-high 19 points. North Dakota State trailed by just 7 at half. Emily Spier continuing her strong play this season. The senior going to work inside, hitting the short jumper. Spier, a double-double with 10 points and a career-high 14 rebounds. Bison still with an 8. True freshman Riley Jacobson came off the bench and provided a spark. The offensive rebound and putback. Jacobson, a season-high 10 points. But turnovers really plagued NDSU. Colorado took advantage of them. Bree Watt, the steal, leads to a fast break basket for Kennedy Leonard on the other end. She led the Buffaloes with 17, and the Bison dropped their third straight, 76-59 the final. NDSU was 25 of 36 from the free throw line and out-rebounded Colorado 44-34. But NDSU outscored 46-6 in the paint.
As a post group, our coach Ryan challenged us to get 20 boards and 20 rebounds, and we succeeded that. I think he said we had like 25 and 27 or something like that. And so we need every single one of us, Bree, Riley Jacobson, and myself, in order to be that best Summit League group of posts.
All right, we now welcome in women's head coach Maren Walseth. And Maren, getting a Power 5 team at home, exciting. You knew it was going to be a pretty good challenge based on what you've seen from the Buffaloes earlier this year. What do you take out of the game against Colorado?
I thought we competed really well. Certainly areas to improve upon, taking care of the basketball. But Emily Spier being able to get a double-double against tremendous size. I think RJ, Riley Jacobson, had a breakout game, a couple run-out layups, rebounded the basketball very well. Tyra Spencer played at a different pace. I think there were positives across the board. Not happy with the outcome, but definitely proud and happy of the effort.
and attacking, getting to the line 30 times in a game like that against Colorado, who, like you said, plays really high-pressure defense. But you guys were able to take advantage of that and get some points on the board with the clock stop, which kept you guys really in the game until the fourth quarter.
Yes, I think that's another growth. At Providence, at UMass, we were a little bit stagnant. We couldn't attack the basket, whether it was the defense or our own inability to want to go. And I think the mentality and the aggressiveness definitely changed tonight. And as you talked about, being able to get to the foul line was a positive.
Looking ahead now, you go on the road, you go to California, which isn't a terrible place to spend Thanksgiving either, Maren, but you take on two opponents that are mid-majors. Should be good tests for you, but a chance to get your team away for a couple of days and kind of build things a little bit. What do you hope to take out of that weekend, taking on Cal Poly and Central Michigan?
I really hope that we can demonstrate and show the growths that we have put together. You mentioned playing a mid-major or somebody a little bit more of our caliber. Can we translate the speed, the aggressiveness, the boxing out that we did against Power 5 teams to our level? And I think that's very possible. Definitely looking forward to a little sun, a little California, some family time. Bison family, as well as their personal families, are going to join us. Looking forward to a good trip.
All right. Thanks so much, Maren. Appreciate you joining us, and have a safe trip out there and enjoy your time out in California.
Thank you.
All right. Maren Walseth joining us here on the Bison Basketball Show. Coming up after the break, we will check in and go one-on-one with Emily Spier. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Bison Basketball Show. Senior forward Emily Spier has been a consistent contributor for the Bison women over the years. She played and started in all 25 games last year for NDSU, and here is more on the senior from Buffalo, Minnesota in this week's One-on-One. Back for another edition of One-on-One. We are joined by one of the three seniors on the Bison women's squad, Emily Spier, and wow, how fast has this gone? Can you believe it? This is already
crazy.
The last hurrah?
It's crazy. I feel like I was here for the first time in the BSA, running up and down the floor. So yeah, it's insane to be in this gym, to be here for one more year and one more go at it. Yeah.
Aren't you glad that you're the senior class, that you at least got to play in this place 1 year, because you remember the Bison Sports Arena, what it was, didn't know what temperature was going to be in the building, what you were going to see.
It could have been negative 40 one day in here and then 90 the next. You never knew. But yeah, it's different just because we had like basically 4 home courts. We had the BSA, we had the BBF, we had Shields Arena, and now this. So it's nice to actually finally be able to call a place home.
You are also a really, really good track and field athlete. A lot of people may not realize that you have like the conference and school record at Buffalo for shot puts.
I do.
Is that something that you consider doing outside of basketball?
To be honest, I was only in track for 2 years. So I just kind of was like, well, I'll give it a shot, and then literally gave it a shot. And yeah. So I was successful at it, so it was fun.
Yeah. Did you ever have a real passion for it, or was it just something you just ended up being real good at?
Just ended up being it. I just wanted to get in the weight room for basketball and just like get workouts done, and that seemed like a good choice for me. So yeah.
And now you're the school record holder.
Yeah. Yep, I am.
Coming from Buffalo to come to North Dakota State, what was it about this place that excited you? What made you want to be a part of the culture and part of it?
I think this was the first school that I visited, and it just felt like home right away. I loved the atmosphere. I loved how it's close enough, but it's far enough from home where I can get away if I need to. I can go home if I need to. I have some family up around here, so that was pretty easy, and it just felt like family here. Just everyone here just felt like family. Everyone was welcoming. Yeah, I just love the atmosphere here.
Night in, night out, you have to go up against girls my height or taller. So, I mean, you're giving up, this is what you're giving up on a nightly basis.
Yep.
How do you make up for that as a post player? If you're guarding someone like me that just towers over you, what do you have to do to hold your own?
It's a lot of arm strength right there. I got to lean on them quite a bit. And then just being able to, because I am a little bit smaller than a lot of the bigs out there, I'm able to move around them a little bit more and run the floor on them, make them tired. So that's another thing that helps, yeah.
And you're one of those posts that you're comfortable shooting out here.
Yep.
I mean, this is kind of your spot right here, isn't it?
That's my spot.
All right.
Face up.
Face up. So
Catch the ball.
If you come out.
Check. I'll face up here. Not afraid to shoot that. If we're in a zone, I'll hit that short corner right here. So yeah. I love
the short corner.
Yep.
It's my favorite spot too. I might have missed it. You'll make it. See, I mean, that's automatic every time. Yes. Do you have a hero or role model you've looked at that has helped you get you into basketball, or just helped you make some decisions in life?
I mean, my dad is kind of my go-to. He's just been a huge part of I hated sports when I was younger. I was the little dancer. I just never wanted to wear a pair of basketball shorts. I wanted to be in a dress. That was me. I hated sports. But he just kept pushing me until I fell in love with the game. So I give a lot of credit to him for that.
Last question. What do you want your legacy to be here? How do you want to leave this program? What are some goals of yours personally and team-wise?
I think personally, I just want to be known as the senior class that got this program off before. Like, we got it running. We're starting it to get back to where it was when they won the, 5 national championships in a row or whatever that was. That would be awesome to be known as the group that got that started. Yeah.
Good luck to you. Thanks for joining us. All right.
Thanks.
Spier scored a career-high 27 points against Western Illinois last season, going 12 of 13 from the floor, and also led NDSU in field goal percentage 1 year ago. We'll be back to wrap up the Bison Basketball Show after this.
The Bison Basketball Show on Midco Sports Network is presented by NODAC Mutual Insurance Company and Mincoda Windows.
Back to wrap things up here on the Bison Basketball Show, and a busy week ahead for both the NDSU men's and women's hoops teams. The Bison men on the road at Missouri State on Sunday before taking on nationally ranked Xavier on Tuesday night, and then finishing up the long road trip at North Carolina A&T later in the week. The Bison women hitting the road to California for a 2-day tournament to take on Cal Poly and Central Michigan, and then the team returns home. And they are back on Midco Sports Network Wednesday night as Western Michigan comes to Fargo. That tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. That'll do it for this week's Bison Basketball Show. We'll see you next week.